3 years ago, I told you guys I'd read my rewrite of Sonic 06 if my first video got 100 likes. Well, it did, and I ended up losing the pages of it in that time. And so, while I can't read you all the dialogue of my fanfic until I find it, I can tell you what I changed in the story. I should probably start by saying it's really sad I even have to make this video. I'm not the greatest writer in the world. I look at stuff I wrote years ago and I cringe. Yet somehow Sonic Team has dozens of writers and they write absolute dreck. I look around and everybody's gushing about how good Sonic Frontiers is looking and how it's going to be some great game changer for the franchise, and I have to admit, it does look fantastic. But for that matter, so did Sonic 06 and Sonic Boom. Well, not the Sonic Boom after the first trailer for Rise of Lyric was released, but when it was still in the concept phase. Sonic Boom ended up flopping because somebody wanted it to be released for Wii U and not Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and I have no idea what they were thinking with that. They had to rewrite all of the code so it could be playable for the Wii U instead of the Xbox. And the Wii U was garbage in of itself. Well, anyway, I digress. All I'm saying is, I just can't get excited for Sonic Frontiers because I don't have any high hopes for Sonic games anymore. And even if the game is good, I'm almost certain the story will be trash because Sonic Team just can't write any good stories. These people couldn't write a picture book for a nursery school. Nevertheless, I'll give you all my own version of Sonic 06, proving that even a Sonic-loving manchild and college dropout can write a story that holds together better than the executives who've been writing Sonic since 2006. And yes, I can even do it following Sega's stupid rules on what can and can't be in Sonic lore. Honestly, some of their rules are just plain stupid. Sonic can't cry? Nobody can die? Characters can't even have family members? It's dumb. I mean, I know it'd be weird if we saw Sonic's mom and dad in every game, but I think it's a little stifling. It just makes Sonic characters look like mascots devoid of any personality. Well, that's probably all they're meant to be anyway. They're just mascots at this point. Sonic is just Sega's corporate face. He's not supposed to be deep or interesting in any way. He's just supposed to tell everyone, don't ask questions, just consume product and get excited for next product. Kind of like Mario, you know? I mean, what purpose does Mario have besides be the face of Nintendo? But the difference is Mario is meant to appeal to a broader audience. Sonic is meant to be a shonen, so his franchise is supposed to be more built around story. I'm not saying it has to be more complex as like Dragon Ball or Naruto, but I wish they would take the plot element just a little bit more seriously. And that's what I've done for you all today. So without further ado, here's my story. So let's start off with the main conflict. In the original version, Mephiles wants to merge with Iblis and destroy the universe for no reason other than bad guy doing bad thing. In my version, Mephiles actually does have a reason to want to merge with Iblis and destroy the universe. He does this as punishment for the Duke's abuse of his power to bring his wife back from the dead. So after that whole Solaris Project incident, he's dying and he seals the Flames disaster inside his only child Elise because she's the only one with royal blood. Because remember, her mother was the Queen of Soliana and her father was her consort. So he himself didn't have any royal blood. Now here's where I introduce a major game changer. With Iblis sealed inside Elise, she's gifted with the power of pyrokinesis, similar to Blaze the Cat. On the other hand, Blaze does not have pyrokinesis in this story. As you could expect, Blaze actually gets her fire powers at the end of the story when Silver seals the Flames disaster inside of her. So Elise has these fire powers, and from here, her story becomes similar to Princess Elsa from Frozen. She has difficulty controlling her powers, and they become more uncontrollable when she's under great stress. And so she's told that if she ever cries, the Flames disaster will be released. Because of the danger her powers pose, she's locked away inside the castle, not allowed to contact with the outside world. So she grows up with basically no real friends or family to speak of. All she has are her mentors, which teach her strict emotional control. So by the time the game begins, it's 10 years in the future, she's 17, and at this point she's basically devoid of any emotions or personality. So, meanwhile, Eggman is studying the Solaris project himself, and he believes he can succeed where the Duke failed, because he believes the Duke lacked his genius. And he learns that in Solionan culture, they celebrate the Festival of the Sun on the summer solstice. And this festival is the one time of year Elise is allowed outside the castle, because she has to do that whole ritual thing that only someone with royal blood can do. So he figures he'll steal the Scepter of Darkness, which the Duke sealed Mephiles inside, and then kidnap Elise. Since Aquatic Base has all the technology used in the Duke's research, he rebuilds it and makes it into his own base of operations. He then finds the scepter there, and he holds it in a safe area for future use. Then, on the Festival of the Sun, he goes into Soliana to kidnap Elise. So meanwhile, GU1 Intelligence finds out that Eggman is now residing in Aquatic Base, so they send Shadow and Rouge and E123 Omega on a mission to destroy it. After breaking through Eggman's forces, they plant bombs all over the place, and while doing this, Rouge finds the scepter, and thinking it's beautiful, she decides to steal it, because, she's a jewel thief. After escaping, Shadow notices Shadow notifies GUN, that the bombs have been planted and the base explodes. However, Rouge actually set off a silent alarm when she stole the scepter, which notified Eggman that the scepter was missing after he kidnapped Elise. That isn't really explained very well either, how Eggman knew that Rouge had stolen the scepter, so that's kind of something I changed there. So after doing so, he flies his egg carrier back to Aquatic Base, and he finds it in ruins because it just exploded. He finds Team Dark not too far away from it, and he comes in this giant robot to fight them and get the scepter back, at which point there's a boss fight. Then the scepter's broken, Mephiles is released, takes the form of Shadow, sends him to the future, blah blah blah. Now, right now, I want to point out something really lazy about Sonic 06's writing. Whoops. In Silver's story, we see both Mephiles and Iblis are living side by side in the future. At first, it's assumed that they needed the 7 Chaos Emeralds in order to merge together, and that they just never found them all, and that's why they never did. But in the final story, when Iblis is released, Mephiles just magically summons all the emeralds to himself, which makes absolutely no sense. Why didn't he just do that before sending Silver back in time? Like, what was the point of even doing so? So I'm just going to get rid of that plot element. What I'd like to do is make it so that Mephiles needs to change the past so that he gets all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds before Iblis is released, because it was impossible for him to find them afterward. Like, I don't know, maybe the Flames of Disaster destroyed them all, or they buried them under tons of rubble so that he could never find them. So Mephiles, what he does here is he tells Silver and Blaze that the Iblis trigger is so powerful of an enemy, and this is referring to Sonic because Mephiles tricked Silver into thinking that Sonic was the Iblis trigger. And he says he's so powerful, they'll need to gather all 7 Chaos Emeralds in order to have the power to fight them. So, what they're going to do is they'll find the Chaos Emeralds and use their power to kill Sonic for him in front of Elise. Then he takes all the emeralds for himself afterward, so that he can merge with Iblis as soon as he comes out of Elise. Another thing I'd be changing here is Blaze's character design. Blaze would not be dressed like a princess like she is in the game. She'd be dressed more like Silver, wearing no clothes except for maybe those gauntlet things around his wrists and ankles. This is because I think Sonic 06 should be a sort of prequel to Sonic Rush. Like, Blaze starts out as just this normal person living in Silver's future. Maybe her only power is she's good at fighting Iblis monsters or something. Like she's good at fighting or something. But she's not a princess, and she doesn't have pyrokinesis. She gains her pyrokinetic powers at the end of the game, when Iblis is sealed inside her and she's sent away to another dimension, which would be the Soul Zone. When she gets there, she realizes that she has fire powers, and maybe she uses them to save the locals from some kind of calamity, and then they would make her their ruler. And so that would kind of explain that. Anyway, that's just kind of the gist of my version of Sonic 06 so far. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you would add, or what you would remove, or what you would change. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.